What is good? It is I, Dr. Illingsworth of Detroit City, that's CYDI for Can You Dig It? And I'm going to bring back Illing's advice just for a little bit. We got an email coming in here from Natalie. The title of this email is Asking for Your Advice. Hi, my name is Natalie, and I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia. I guess that's what WV stands for. Hopefully I'm not stupid. I really enjoy your music and the style you have. I think it's perfect for rap beats, and I love listening to it. I also want to start producing music of my own, but I'm having a hard time getting started. With that being said, I wanted to hear more about your story, such as how you got started, what software equipment is good and cheap for beginners, and things like that. Thank you for reading this email and for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. Natalie. Thank you for the email, Natalie. Thank you for the compliments as well. I appreciate that. You want to know about how I got started and what's my story? Probably my greatest inspiration is my older brother, who is a very excellent MC. He had a group back in the day, and seeing them as I was coming up served as probably the biggest inspiration towards me getting into hip-hop. My exposure to music from him and also from my mother. My father, not so much. His musical tastes are kind of weird. Ours don't really overlap like that, me and Pops. During middle school and early high school, I used to play around with like pause tapes and like a karaoke machine. Met some dudes in high school. We started rapping together. We kept rapping together. Then you get into all this stuff I've been doing from like 2007 to now. Like originally for me, I started making beats out of necessity. I started as an MC, and I'm still an MC. Back around the time where I was doing it, the internet was not as cool as it is now. Whereas you can email somebody across the earth to get beats, and they'll just give you beats because they're from like Russia or something, and they just want to work with somebody from another place. We couldn't really do that. Communication just wasn't as immediate. It wasn't as easy to use. There was no Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. But now you can just reach out to whoever. I didn't know anybody who made beats, so I kind of knew at the time that people could do stuff with computers to make beats. So I also had a paper route at the time, so I saved up money from the paper route, and my mom helped me buy a computer, and I was making beats using like Gold Wave, which is a program I still use today to capture things from records and all other types of sound sources. It was real stupid. I won't explain the process on this video because that's just super dumb. Anyway, that's how I got started making beats. I needed beats, didn't know where to get beats, started making my own beats, rapped over those, eventually got better at it to the point where I was like, damn, I really like making beats and I'm getting better at it. So it became another one of those big passions for me. So like rapping and making beats. To get to the actual meat of your email, the important part, because me talking about me is not as important as me trying to help you answer your question, only because this is my YouTube channel and I can talk about me all the time. The important part of this question is, what software and equipment is good and cheap for beginners? I'm not really going to speak on price. Not going to tell you exactly why. But let me just tell you what software might be good for somebody that's just starting out. Depending on what kind of computer person you are you a Mac? Are you a PC? If you are a PC, I would suggest programs such as FL Studio or Fruity Loops, Ableton, Sony Acid, which is a program I use, Sony Acid 7, Reason. Those are all programs you can use to make beats on a PC. On a Mac, I would suggest things like Ableton, Reason, Logic, which I think is a program that people use on the Mac to make beats. Even Pro Tools. If you ever heard of a guy named Odyssey, I believe he makes all his beats inside of Pro Tools. And also if you use a Mac, you can use something like I think it's called like Parallels Desktop or some other kind of program like that to actually run any of those PC programs I named probably on your Mac. Or if you got a Mac and you into like doing stuff like dual boot, you can have a Mac that dual boots, and you can have your favorite Mac software and your favorite PC software side by side, living together in perfect harmony. I guess out of all of those, the one I would recommend the most is Ableton, just because it's so flexible. You know, if you get into making the beats and you want to transition into some kind of like live component of it, Ableton is my go-to program for that. Like I perform, and for the live performances, it's all I use. And you can set it up in numerous ways. And there's tons of tutorials right on this website, YouTube, where you can find out different tips and tricks for recording into Ableton or chopping up stuff, playing stuff. As far as equipment goes, like the different versions of the MPC, I never really got into it like that. But it's definitely a powerful piece of equipment. A lot of people that make beats in kind of the style that I guess I make them in use like a Roland SP 404 or the 404 SX, or I believe there's another machine called the SP 555 which does similar functions. I can't really speak on those hardwares too much because I don't have a ton of experience with them. I got a little part-time gig right now, so after I save up a little money, I might get a SP 404 SX just to have it, see what it's all about, try to learn it. If I end up not liking it, maybe I'll just, sell it. With any of those softwares or hardware, you can record audio into it, so you can record yourself singing or talking or rapping or reciting a poem, playing an instrument. Any instrument that has audio, whether it be a digital instrument or a flute. If you're gonna go the software route, just make sure you got like a nice fast computer, lots of RAM, fast processor. Ultimately, whatever software you pick, it all comes down to how much time you put into learning that particular software. When I first really got into making beats, I was making beats all the time. I was making at least 3 beats a day, every day at one point. Now, as long as I get 1 beat per day that I really, really like, I'm fine with that, because I've made thousands of beats. Optimal situation, I'd be making 3 beats per day that I like, but it varies. I hope that answers your question somewhat, Natalie. If you have any more questions, send me another email or reply on the video. As always, you can email me at illingsadvice@gmail.com if you have a question. I'm going to try to get back into answering these questions because it's fun and I want to help people. And questions like this are cool because I feel like this may actually help the person who asked the question. Hope this helps you guys. Have a good day. Peace out.